Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a newborn must-haves video. So I have a 1-year-old little boy. He's actually almost 13 months right now. When I was pregnant, I kept searching and searching for different things that I thought I needed, and a lot of things that I ended up getting I didn't really need. So I wanted to make a video for you guys to just show you what I actually used in the newborn stages. I'm not going to talk about things that are obvious like diapers and wipes and stuff like that, but I am going to talk about things that I think are necessities for the newborn stage and things that made our lives a little bit easier. So if you are interested in seeing what is on my newborn must-have list, then just keep watching. The very first thing that I would recommend getting for the hospital and for like the first, I'd say, month or two, get a plush Velcro sleep sack. So I found this like blanket-like material, but it was like a little cocoon, had the bottom connected, and all you did was like stick them in and then wrap them up. We used that in the hospital, and oh my goodness, it was so nice. Like, we didn't have to swaddle him. We just put his normal clothes on, put that on, and he was warm and snuggly, and he loved that thing. So he was in it all the time. The nurses couldn't believe like how nice it was. They had never seen one, which I was kind of surprised. I found it at Dillard's in like the clearance section. So I did find some on Amazon. I'm gonna link them right here. I'm gonna show you pictures of everything that I talk about, but I'll also link everything down below in the description box. The second thing that I would recommend is a Rock and Play. It's by Fisher Price, but I would recommend getting the Smart Connect one. It rocks on its own, it has sounds, you can control it from like multiple rooms. It's great. Like, it's not that much more. I would just go ahead and make the investment in getting that. I actually had Brooks right over here next to my bed, and he slept in that for the first probably 3 or 4 months. It kind of like reclines him up, and that helps with their belly, and it just helps them sleep better, and they feel like more secure and like snuggled, rather than a bassinet where they're just flat on their backs. I would highly recommend the Rock and Play. Next thing that I would recommend are xoxo bottles. So I breastfed Brooks for the first month, and then we decided to switch to formula. Whenever I made that transition, it was kind of hard to find a bottle that really worked for him. I feel like we went through so many bottles. Every baby is different. Every baby's gonna take to a different bottle. But for us, switching from breastfeeding to bottle feeding, the xoxo was just the best. And it's rated #1 breastfeeding bottle. So if you're going back and forth and you are breastfeeding but you're just supplementing, I would recommend getting the xoxo bottles because they are more breast-like, if that makes any sense. And I like them because they have a really wide mouth, so you can get in there and clean them really easy. And it only has 3 parts. So it just has like the nipple part, it's got a little round part that fastens it, and then it has the actual bottle. And the bottle is silicone, which is supposed to mimic like skin. But I just really loved them. They are a little bit more pricey, but I would recommend getting a couple small ones at first and then investing in the big ones. And honestly, if you wanted to, you could just get the big ones because they're not gonna drink, you know, that small amount for very long. Okay, the next thing are Wub and Ub pacifiers. So you've probably seen them all over. And whenever we went to the hospital, I wasn't planning on giving him a pacifier, but honestly, if you're going to introduce one, I would recommend doing the Wub and Ub first, just because it's the soothy type of passy, which usually newborns take to better. And then also the animal sits on their chest and it kind of keeps the passy from just like falling all around. So it's really good and it's cute, and I just really recommend it. I wouldn't buy a ton of them until you know if they like them or not, because they are kind of expensive, but I would definitely just get one. I would also recommend having multiple changing stations in your house. So if you live on a multi-floor home, make sure you have a changing place for each level. For us, we had his changing pad and his like dresser in his nursery, so we always changed him there. But in the very first stages where I wasn't wanting to get up and down all the time and I just really needed to just grab a diaper real quick and can change him on my lap, I would just make a little basket and I would put some diapers, some wipes, some, you know, diaper rash cream, whatever. I would even keep like an extra Nub or just anything like that. That way you're not running around all the time, especially in those first weeks when you're recovering. You don't want to be tromping all over the house trying to get your baby changed. For bath time, we use the 4Moms bathtub. It has the thermometer on it. It also puts clean water in and it rinses the dirty water out, and it's like just shaped really well so that the newborn isn't sliding around. I loved that bathtub. We put it in our sink, it fit perfect, and I just really liked it. It also came with a little cup that was connected and you could wash them off. That was so handy. So the cup just popped back on each time. I really like this tub for the first, I'd say probably 4 or 5 months. The next thing was an absolute must-have for us, and that was a sound machine. We actually used the sound machine on the Mamaroo. The Mamaroo worked for us, but I've heard mixed reviews, so I would say use your own judgment. If you really want one, buy it. If not, then just get something else. We did use the sound machine on the Mamaroo, which is great. You can adjust the volume. You can even put in like your phone if you wanted to use sound machines from your phone. And then once we started traveling and stuff, I got a portable sound machine as well. He likes ocean sounds and like animal sounds, like birds chirping and stuff, and that puts him to sleep instantly. Okay, when your baby is little and you think that they're getting sick or you think they might have a fever, you don't want a thermometer that you gotta stick under their armpit or in their ear or anything like that, because they're gonna be squirming around and it's gonna be hard to get an accurate reading. So we really like the forehead swipe thermometer. It's really easy to use, it's really accurate. We use it on ourselves too, and it's just more sterile. That has just been like the most genius invention. So get you a forehead swipe thermometer. Okay, speaking of medicine and things in that nature, you need to get some gripe water. So babies get hiccups like all the time, usually multiple times a day. At least Brooks did. So the only thing that would cure it or stop it would be gripe water. So I think gripe water helps with all kinds of things, but it helps with hiccups. I think it helps even with gas maybe a little bit. I'm not really sure, don't quote me on that. But gripe water was great to have. I remember we went through bottles of gripe water. I kept it in our diaper bag at all times. It's amazing. Get some gripe water. Okay, you guys have probably heard about this next one. It's kind of gross, but it works better than anything I've ever tried, and it is the nose Frida. Now, that's the thing where you put the end in the baby's nose and you suck on the other end and it sucks the snot out. But it does work really well. It works way better than the ball things that they give you at the hospital. It's a lifesaver, honestly, especially whenever you're going into the winter months and they're getting stuffy and they can't breathe and they're laying on their back and they're miserable. Get that nose Frida out. Like, you'll do anything at that point. So there is a block in that tube that stops the snot from coming up. You're not going to suck it up in your mouth or anything like that. So definitely get a nose Frida. The next thing that I would recommend is definitely an investment piece, but I'm telling you, it will give you the best peace of mind if you just get it. And that is the Owlet heart rate monitor. Basically, you just put the little monitor on the baby's foot and it connects to your phone and to a dock. And if for some reason your baby stops breathing or their oxygen levels go haywire, then it will notify you on the dock and your phone. Whenever we first brought Brooks home from the hospital, we had him right here next to us, and I was constantly worried about him not breathing. And you worry about SIDS, people pound it into your head, you know, that you've got to watch your baby, gotta watch your baby. So I would, and I knew even before I had Brooks that I was going to be paranoid. So once I heard about the Owlet monitor, I was really intrigued, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to get one of those. I think that that would help me sleep at night and not worry as much, and let me tell you, it did. So we would strap that thing on his little foot every single night, and we didn't have to worry about it. We knew it was blinking all the time. We could tell it was working. We did have like, not some false alarms, but if you take it off of them and you don't hit the dock, it will go off. So if it's not connected to that pulsing, I guess, I'm not really sure how it works, but it will notify you. So it does work if you needed it to. It's so good that I gave one of my best friends it to use on her little baby girl, because it's such a good thing. It's so good. And it comes with 3 different sizes of socks, so it will grow with your baby. The next tip that I have is to get a nursing pillow, even if you're not breastfeeding. The reason why I say this is because your baby is going to need to be fed, and it's easier to just like wrap the nursing pillow around you and put the baby in it and feed them that way than to just hold them in your arms all the time. It's a lot more comfortable for the baby and for you, and it just works out really well. You could also use the nursing pillow for tummy time. Whenever they're trying to lift their little head up, you can just kind of prop their body up on the pillow and they can try to raise their head that way. Next thing that I would recommend getting is a mat or a gym for tummy time. Brooks did not like tummy time at all, and I know that you have to get it in, so it was a struggle every day, even getting like a minute or 2 in. It helps to have a mat or something that's got little animals or something they can look at. I think it helps them learn. He started to like it. He loved laying on his back, and that's actually where he learned to roll over and back and forth on, was the tummy time mat. So any kind of gym, I'll link one down below, but really any of them are great. Whenever we transferred Brooks into the pack and play and into the crib, he was in the DockATot in both of those transitions. And that DockATot, I don't know what it was, but once we transferred him to it, he slept awesome. I mean, he was getting like at least 8 hours of sleep every single night, and I owe it all to the DockATot. I like it because it keeps him snug and secure, and he couldn't roll out of it. So that made me feel better, knowing that it would be harder for him to roll over onto his stomach, because I wanted him to sleep on his back. And we loved the DockATot. It was easy to wash, easy to put back together. I love it. Okay, the last thing on my list is hooded bath towels. Whenever your little one is getting out of the bath, you know, they don't like getting cold. They love the water, but they don't like getting out. So it's so important to keep their little heads warm. Throw the hood over their head, wrap their little bodies up. It's the perfect size. You don't need anything more, and this will last them for probably a good year. Brooks is still using his, and he's a year old, so hooded towels are definitely a must. All right, that is it for my newborn must-haves. I hope you guys got some information from this video. Hopefully it helps you narrow down what you're gonna get, what you're not gonna get. I hope that this helps you out, and thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video. I make mommy, beauty, lifestyle videos, and I also vlog. So if you like how that sounds, then please subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.